Live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Shooting. This is the Wrestling is So Good episode. I am here with andrewmswift, and of course, I am Tonya Rodgers, and I'm going to start saying a card-carrying proud member of the Roman Empire. So, we'll just get that out the way. So we're gonna start backwards. We're gonna start with SmackDown. Ooh. SmackDown Live, because they had their go home show for TLC, which is this Sunday, and let's start with the opening of this show. It was the contract signing between Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss for the SmackDown Women's Championship match, and just gonna let you go ahead and get your thoughts out first. SmackDown reviewer.
Well, I mean, the Ryan Ward special never fails to disappoint, you know. And this is the second time they've run this exact same contract signing in like a month and a half, maybe, on SmackDown Live, and both of them opened the show. And both were awesome. And last night's was it last night? God, I can't even remember what day it is. Yeah, last night's was a lot of fun. I thought Becky was better maybe on the mic than I've ever seen her. And that is also a part of her backstage bit later, which we'll go over. And Alexa continues to shine. And I think I saw the article on Cage Side today that was like Alexa Bliss was the steal of the draft. And I didn't read it, but I do agree with the assessment. I feel that, you know, they got her in kayfabe very late in the draft, and she's been an excellent performer for them. But the key is we always knew she could talk, and she could emote, and she could be a great character, but now she needs to prove it in the ring. Because as we saw on Monday, you know, big matches still might be the thing that get you over in WWE. You can really translate a lot of visceral, raw feeling into your matches. That seems to be the best course of action, because the storytelling is inconsistent. Although on SmackDown it's better, obviously.
Yeah, way better. That's the thing that struck me. They have more than one story on this show. Now, let's just go ahead and talk about that promo that Becky Lynch cut, because I'm sitting there and she's okay. Now let's talk about she's so great, because she had an entirely different demeanor before she went into the table than after.
Yeah.
And it was so nuanced in that second promo she cut. Because Becky Lynch is not the type to be throwing around profanities. You know, she'll make a corny pun before she curses somebody out. And the fact that she called Alexa Bliss that little bitch, I was like, oh my gracious. And you know, as much as I curse, I should not be shocked. But I was like, oh my goodness gracious. It done got real around here. Lord, I'm so hyped. That one thing, and then her on Talking Smack, she was good. The Miz, we'll get to all that.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to that.
The Miz was poking and prodding her. I love the way that's why I always said Becky Lynch could definitely feud with a guy, and it wouldn't be any problem. Everyone would love it. Like Becky Lynch gets anybody on the roster. Well, she's just that damn good at like selling not only who her character is, but the struggles that her character goes through. And I think
that's a really good point.
A lot of them, like the reason why she has a support is because we've seen all the crap that she had to go through, and she wasn't even meant to be in that match at WrestleMania. She literally fought her way through that, and she's like one of my favorite characters. So people like turn her heel, and I know you said that, and that would be fun, like after a while. But right now, like there's so few people in the company that I have, or characters, not personal wrestlers, because I like believing like most of the roster as performers, but as characters, there's so few that I believe in that this character that Becky Lynch, and it really started in her match at NXT with Sasha. But this character, it's been such a joy to watch her evolve, and like TLC is gonna be lit. I cannot. Oh my god, tables match.
That's gonna be fire. Like just the tease of the exploder suplex, the super exploder suplex, that was given in the contract signing. It was like, oh, you know, like this is gonna be lit. And like you, I do not have a particularly innocent mouth, we'll say, and and I was literally like, because usually when I'm watching SmackDown Live, I'm like watching and also typing at the same time. I had to literally like stop.
Well, that's understandable.
I had I know. There's a lot to get down. I had to literally stop for like 90 seconds because I was like, holy shit. Mm-hmm. I did not expect that whatsoever. Because usually when it's like, when some profanity is used, it's some male babyface calling some guy a bitch because he's weak or some shit, right? But it's just like, but the way that Becky used it was just like, she's fucking like evil and I'm going to gut her. And it was just like, hell yeah, let's do it. You know, it was.
And here's the thing. Can we mention that people brought up Russo in the line terms of this?
Yeah.
Understand and be clear. The issue with the type of writing that Vince Russo does is that it paints all women of the same layers. Mm-hmm. And they're very one-dimensional characters. Like if there's a woman and she loves sex, and there's nothing wrong with loving sex, but that's basically all her character is someone who loves sex. So the difference with the writing on this particular SmackDown with the bitch and talking about the boobs we'll get into is that there are clear opposites. Like the person that's going against Alexa, who's a bitch, is not a bitch. And Becky Lynch, she's a likable person. The person that's going up against Carmella is Nikki Bella, who is a genuinely likable person. You know. Mm-hmm. So there was never a problem for me to have catty women because I'm a woman. Trust me.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that, but you need to have. Well, maybe she is not catty all the time. Maybe she's serious and like. To me, it's there's a little bit of like white knighting, and you gotta be careful, especially when guys do it. I know you might be coming from a good place,
right?
But it's kind of like, we're not that women are remarkably strong. You don't have to protect us from everything. Okay, I just wanted to say about that, the whole like Vince Russo. I'm like, oh God, please not. Don't associate that hack with anything that you watched last night. That would be a grave mistake. There's nothing similar at all. So let's go to the other women's thing. Unless you got something else to say about Becky, Alexa.
You made the point that like Becky gets her feuds over really well, and like we saw it in the Charlotte feud late last year. Like that, she carried that feud like for real. Big time.
Absolutely.
Like in backstage segments and in like Fallout videos and stuff. She absolutely was carrying that. And then last night it was like she got both Alexa over and the feud over as like, because Carmella and Nikki had been like the stipulation match, and the blood feud for like 2 months now. And it was just like, all right, so Alexa and Becky clearly don't like each other, obviously, but it just like ratcheted up to a whole new level. When she dropped that line, and it was like a proof of the maxim that less can be more sometimes. Like that may have been the first profanity like spoken since the brand split on SmackDown Live. It's possible. I can't remember any other time. Dean used bastard after that at the close of the show, but it just goes to show you that unexpected can be good when it makes sense, when you can logically follow why someone has reached a certain point. And I think we got that. And I think Rebecca Quinn got that over very well last night. So
yes, she very well did. So speaking of the SmackDown Women's Division, Carmella, she had a match, and this was just to set up her coming out to talk trash about Nikki Bella. And of course, I can't say it used to be so fun when I actually didn't like her. But like, she won me over. She came out and she immediately starts to talk about John Cena. So the crowd, being smartasses, because they already know.
Yeah.
Because everybody who watches WWE is smarts now. I wrote something about that, like when I first started writing for the site before I was on staff. I was like, this is what WWE. You cannot be against smarts if you send all your fans to tweet and this and that. You send them to the internet. The network is on the internet. So you have them on there. Of course, they're going to Google their favorite wrestler, and they're going to easily come across information inside your business. So you send them there. So this is what you ask for. So, of course, everybody knows Carmella's with Big Cass. So they start chanting, how you doing? And she's like, I would be doing a lot better once I leave this place. I was like, okay, see, that's why I'm liking her. And then she proceeds to just talk about how, like, she's going to bust Nikki Bella's implants and
man, yeah.
Oh my God. And ruin her face. So the last thing on her mind or anyone's mind in her relationship is marriage, I think. And I was just like, see, this is the great stuff that I love about wrestling. I love things like this because you absolutely know. Okay, for anybody who's offended whatsoever, it's funny. Remember when Bray Wyatt was with John, feuding with Cena, and he was like, and your plastic girlfriend. And then there was a story that came out and was like, is Nikki Bella mad? She was like, no, he asked me beforehand. And he was so sweet about it. And I was like, Nikki Bella's probably back there with who's ever writing the lines. Say, oh yeah, say this, say that, say that. Because like that ratchets it up. And it, like when Nikki Bella finally comes out and she's had enough and just starts kicking her ass, the crowd loves it.
Loved
and
it.
Like,
yeah.
Oh my God. The fact that she's putting Nikki Bella down for this stuff and the crowd's booing instead of cheering when AJ Lee did it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so remarkable.
Yeah. I made that point in the recap too. Like that's part of the, sea change in culture that we've seen.
Yeah.
Although not always, because then we have the Lana stuff. So,
which when we talk about Raw,
we'll get to
that's a ways away. But
yeah,
they got a no DQ match here, and I'm just looking forward to the SmackDown women like raising the bar. Because like they're absolutely going to have to deliver. They're gonna have to blow it away this Sunday. They're gonna have to, or else some people who are like, well, SmackDown's women's divisions. I'm like, well, they're booked better on SmackDown, but let's not just say they're better because they're booked better.
Right? Yeah.
Look at all the aspects.
Yeah,
Raw women.
Yeah, the weekly television stuff on SmackDown is like a trillion times better than the stuff on Raw.
Yes, it is.
And I don't think that's a controversial statement in the least bit. But on the other hand, then you have like big match Sasha and Charlotte go on like four plus stars like every other week apparently.
Yeah,
so
like it's nothing. Do it
like it's nothing. It's just whatever.
Whatever.
0-star build, 4-star, 4.5-star match, whatever. It's not an issue for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think both of those matches on Sunday need to deliver, and I hope they do deliver.
So do I.
And I think I have this feeling that Carmella's gonna win.
I'm okay with that.
And yeah, I think she might be the next challenger for Becky, and I think it might prompt some soul searching for Nikki. But then we had the angle where like she was attacked backstage, so that doesn't really seem like you can like start shading a character when something like that just happened to her. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I'm looking forward to both those matches for sure. And I'm looking forward to both those matches in a way that I haven't really looked forward to a women's match on Raw since ever.
Well, I looked forward to one of the few matches I look forward to this year at WrestleMania. I know this is pre-draft, but hey, it was Raw was involved, but that was the last one. I think some of the Sasha Charlotte stuff I was looking forward to, watching them perform. I never get tired of that.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like, I mean, it's not that I wasn't excited for the match, but it was like the build hadn't gotten me to a place where I was like, oh, I need to see really this,
high.
Yeah. I was like, of course I need to see this. It's going to be a great match. But I wasn't like, I feel invested. I just keep taking back what I'm saying right now.
It's a very, I know what you're saying. It's a very different feeling when you're like, everything's been good and you just get so hyped instead of like, the build sucks, but I guess the match should be great,
Right, yeah.
It's just different. It's a different type of like anticipation. Mm-hmm. So I get what you're saying. Mm-hmm. So anything else you want to say about the women's division on SmackDown?
No, I hope Becky keeps calling Alexa a bitch though, because I could not get over that. I'm sorry. That was so good. That
was amazing. That was awesome. That was great. Well, let's go to the mid card. Let's talk about the Miz and Mike Mizanin.
Oh my God.
I happen to be a Mike Mizanin fan.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, from way back. Yeah.
He was not just on the Real World. He was also on the Real World Royal Rules Challenge. And he was pretty good on that show. Like, he would be in the top contenders in that little obstacle courses and whatever. I'm sure he's won one. I am pretty sure he's won one. But I was his fan before, and then, So I thought he had a great week. I just, like him on... Like, I like Daniel Bryan on Talking Smack, but should Daniel Bryan, for some reason, not be able to be in that spot? I don't know why. I don't know why you would have to cancel the show, because The Miz has the exact same dynamic, but for faces.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely true.
And I think that's kind of better served if you're trying to build a face territory. Because Daniel Bryan always puts the heels over, but sometimes he panders to certain faces, James Ellsworth, so much to the point that it can breed like favoritism or resentment when the person's watching, and you're just like, can you just climb out of his ass now, Bryan? Thank you. Like, seriously. Like, the points that some of the heels make about Daniel Bryan, he abuses his power, but I've been on it.
Yeah,
I've been on it for a minute.
They're not. Yeah, the points that a lot of the heels have made are not wrong. Corbin, Miz, and Styles have all made pretty compelling arguments that Daniel Bryan is
just like the Authority.
They've said just like the Authority, which is obviously a stretch, but. It's a difference in level rather than kind, because he's clearly not being like a neutral party.
No, he's not. He's clearly not. Okay, this is my thing. Like the Authorities thing where they had their vision of how the WWE wanted to be run. And they were going to do everything according to their vision. And they're very passionate about. Daniel Bryan just made the exact same type of speech. Like on Talking Smack. It was like right before or after Survivor Series. And it was just, he is the face version of the Authority. It's not necessarily a bad thing because he is doing great stuff. He's a great general manager. But if you're a heel, you would hate his guts. You should hate his guts.
Yeah.
Because he's not putting up with your shit. That's
Talking
rivalry is like, it's good.
How did you feel about Talking Smack being on later?
I don't like it. Okay, we can just jump all over because this is a freestyle anyway. 205 should be filmed at Full Sail, and NXT should start going on the road and film right before SmackDown. That should be the dark matches, NXT. Then you go to SmackDown Live. Then you have Talking Smack. And do 205 on like at Full Sail. Just because I think they're going to get over more with that crowd. Like, not very many. The people who, you can tell, the people who are over now, those are the ones who are pretty much going to be over. Like, which I'm surprised. Gallagher, he's over. I was kind of worried, but then, like, his style goes with, like, they're making the cruiserweights wrestle a WWE style. And that was the difference.
Yeah.
Like the CWC, they just wrestle like all different types of matches and styles. And that's what made that show wonderful, was because on the same episode, you were going to get to see the various different styles of cruiserweight. And you were going to have Daniel Bryan break it down to you and explain. And the difference is they moved it to Raw, and Vince McMahon told them to work the WWE style. There's no reason on a televised cruiserweight match any of them should be throwing on headlock, boring manner that they do.
Yeah, and the headlocks is
they're not gonna get over like that.
Yeah, it's it's not necessarily. It doesn't have to be all flips. Like a lot of stuff that I saw that Swan was really getting over with last night were his strikes.
Yes.
If a lot of those guys have good looking strikes, and so that goes a long way. So you can do that, and then you add some flippy shit, and then you add some like cute little catch wrestling
like
stuff
Boy.
Or whatever. Yeah. I'll tell you what, I was so happy because I didn't watch either that or Talking Smack until like 1 a.m. after the recap went live. So I skipped the first match because I saw people were like, whatever. It was just a tag match that's you basically seen on Raw.
Austin Aries was the most interesting part of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I went like directly to Gallagher's match, and I loved how like when he came out at first, there were like a couple of people were like, yeah, we were super excited, but you could just see the crowd getting more and more into it.
Yes.
And that was like such a satisfying feeling. It's just like we are watching a wrestler get over with a bunch of people who have never seen this guy before and have probably never seen the type of stuff that he's doing before, and how his mannerisms, and it was just wonderful to see that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Cookie cutter is not that works for some people who don't know psychology and stuff and just throw a bunch of moves, but yeah, no comment. But for people like Gallagher or people like Drew Gulak, who I like and who I don't think has been used very well at all in the cruiserweight division, because he's like a technical wrestler, but like his move, like whereas Zack Sabre Jr. stuff looks very like graceful, Gulak's looks more like punishing, and then like that's an interesting twist on.
I remember their match. You said that now. I remember their match.
Yeah.
It was one of Zack Sabre Jr. and Drew Gulak.
Yeah.
A great like grapple fuck. I'm gonna beat your ass down to submission match in the CWC. Yeah, I really like that.
Yep.
That's like a pay-per-view caliber match. You would have to. They're just not doing it right on Raw. They're making them wrestle the WWE style, and when they already have guys that are good at that style, let them wrestle that. Let them wrestle differently. That's like the catch to most of them. You're supposed to build stories around the few who can talk and are charismatic, and the rest of them are supposed to come in ooh and ah you.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, the layout of the show is weird, with like starting with the tag match, and like you could have started with someone like I don't think he was there. Oh no, they were all there last night. Like Grand Metalik, who does crazy lucha shit, you know, and that's guaranteed to like get a crowd invested. Because if you're doing like jumping Frankensteiners over the top rope, like you're gonna be like, oh shit, that was insane, you know. So it was weird. It was weird to see that they started with like just a nondescript tag match, and odd, but otherwise I thought like the stuff I watched on the show, the Gallagher match and the main event, I liked quite a bit.
Yeah, I like that too.
And
what do you think about the new champ?
I like Rich Swann a lot.
So do I.
I think he's got, and it's nice because all we've heard on Raw is like, this guy is so fun. You know, like, look at his dance moves. This guy's so fun. And I think actually Renee like made a sly comment about that last week on Talking Smack when they were talking about like bringing the cruisers over, and she was like, oh yeah, all they say is like, he's so fun or something like that. I'll have to look that up again. But he's got a great story. He's a super likable guy, and they just didn't like do anything with that, and it's kind of weird, you know. And it was, you know, the "You deserve it" chant is kind of getting overplayed a little bit, but that was a time that felt like it was right, you know.
You know what? Somebody should get meta when the chant started. Like, no, I don't deserve it. None of us deserve it. This is all predetermined. Stop saying that.
What a heel turn that would be. See, that would be Dolph. Dolph Ziggler would do that, but here's the thing: no one would ever chant "You deserve it" at Dolph. So. Oh,
I think they did.
I was just about to be like, oh shit, they may have done that when he won the Intercontinental Championship.
It wasn't as big as like, you know,
right? Yeah,
Kevin Owens, but people did it. But okay, so let's get back to SmackDown because we got to talk about Ellsworth rested in peace.
Oh my
and the
God.
Undertaker wasn't even on the show.
Right? Seriously.
I'm gonna have to get this out for all my ladies who might watch, you know. Dean Ambrose. When he came out to do the Ambrose Asylum, he had like his beard has grown so nicely and it looked so nice with his skin and then his hair. And I was just saying, I'm gonna tell you, Andrew, because I haven't watched it back, but I will. I don't know what happened from the time he came out to the time AJ Styles music. I don't know what was said because I was just staring at him. So, if you will excuse me, all I can talk about is how great I saw Dean look and how wonderful AJ Styles is as a character, an idea, a wrestler, a thought, a human being. And by the way, as one of the greatest WWE World Heavyweight Champions ever, he is having his best in the world run.
Yeah.
Right now. You're witnessing. So those who you didn't get to see CM Punk, that's fine. AJ Styles has come to give you a little another best in the world run. It's been fabulous.
Yeah, Yeah, I saw a lot of people talking about Dean's beard looking nice on him. I didn't really notice it, in all honesty, but it's funny that like you say that you didn't hear anything, you know, when Dean and Ellsworth were talking. I assumed you were about to say because James Ellsworth is like super boring and doesn't have anything interesting to say. I thought you were gonna go off on him a little bit there.
No, because see,
he's not like, your favorite.
He's like a little everybody. He's like the internet's little puppy, and if you say something bad against him, you're the worst. You're a horrible human being. You don't even deserve to watch wrestling because you just don't get how fabulous he is. I don't see it. I don't see it whatsoever. I'm not entertained. I am not interested. But no, I was caught up in Dean Ambrose looking all sexy. Because like sometimes I've had to watch his promos over and Roman Reigns promos over, honestly. Sometimes I've had to rewatch Charlotte's. She looks great Monday. Oh gosh, she was so pretty. It's like I cannot stop looking at how pretty in that segment with her and Dana Brooke. I was like, wow, Charlotte, you rock. But I digress. It wasn't like it's just I see him as a prop, as a plot device, and I like the story, so I'm not gonna let the fact that I am not enjoying him in particular ruin it. Yeah. That's where I am.
Yeah, and it's convenient for you because AJ Styles is literally like saying, "You know what you are? You're a joke.
Oh God!
You're a prop who's just used to insult me." Like he took those words directly out of your mouth, pretty much. And I heard that, and I was like, "Oh man,
he is speaking through me."
Yeah,
I loved it.
Yeah, so that was good. I loved when he came out. I'm gonna put over JBL here because JBL's been pretty good since the brand split, but like with the Ellsworth stuff, he's been so good, just so good, so good ragging on him. But I loved when Styles came out because the Ellsworth Dean stuff was like Dean was just ribbing him for having like old boots and stuff, and like doing a little thing where he's like, "Wow, you don't have much going on, you know, like physique wise." And I was like, I kind of felt like he was going a little too much, but then like later on, it, you know, like Dean's vengeance for him, you know, wiped away any fears that I had that Dean was going in on him a little too much.
You can't forget Dean is also a dude, bro. Just because he ain't hanging out with Roman don't mean.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. That's a fair point.
Which we will get to the Roman ass later. Go ahead.
Yeah, but AJ like going right to the commentary, the announcer's table, and just standing up on it. I was like, that's a new thing. Like usually they'll just go into the ring or talk, you know, on the ramp in the entryway or something, or, you know, ringside. But like he just walked right around the ring and just got right up on the announce table, and like he just started talking, doing his thing. And then I loved how Dean finally was like, "Oh, you just call him this dummy who beat you 3 times or whatever," and Styles immediately jumped down because he was pissed. And I was like, yeah, that's a great little bit that you can't get that moment of him like involuntarily jumping off the announce table because he's so angry unless he's on the announce table, you know? So I really enjoyed that little touch. That was really cute. Another touch that AJ did, which was really, really good, was when the tables chant started and he flipped the one over in the ring. Like, and the crowd booed because they're like, "Oh, you know, we want a table spot," or whatever. And that was wonderful because like it was starting to build, and he heard it, and he just sort of looked, and he's just like, "Nah,
screw you guys."
Nah, you know, like fuck it, I'm tossing this over.
What you want?
Yeah, right. Yeah, so that was great. The whole segment was really good. The whole angle was really good last night. And I loved that they closed.
The end.
I loved that close so much because as I wrote in the recap, I thought they were ending it at like 3 separate times. I thought it was Wyatt's in the ring. I was like, okay, sure. You know, you can close with that. Like that's an interesting story that's going on. And Luke Harper's killing it in that story, by the way.
Yeah.
But and then I was like, all right, we'll get, you know, Heath and Rhino. Okay, we do that. And then AJ shows up and he's like, okay, this dickhead's back. And then there you are, you bastard. And it was like, oh, here we go. You know, like that was great. And it was like one of the old WCW, we're out of time, you know, like gimmicks.
We gotta go. I used to love those.
I love those too. But it was better that there was no commentary for that. And we just, you know, saw it and heard, you know, what was happening. So that was great. I loved that so much because they played with my expectations of how a go-home show could close in several different ways and then closed it in the best way possible. So I was a huge fan of that.
Yeah, that was all good. That was a great show. Let's touch on the Wyatts because we cannot like. I love Bray Wyatt. I do. But this story is not about him for me. It's not about Randy Orton for me either.
Yeah.
This story is about the fact that Luke Harper does not trust Randy Orton's snake ass. He is just waiting. Like the way he just he hasn't said a word edgewise. Like he's not saying anything different. He's not acting any different, really. He's still being a loyal little Bray Wyatt henchman. But the way he looks, and he does not take his eyes off Randy Orton.
No, never.
He is waiting. He is waiting for Randy Orton. It's like Randy Orton would have to take Luke Harper out first, is my assumption. Because if he ever RKO'd Bray Wyatt out of nowhere and Luke Harper's around, he's going to be on his back the minute it happens.
Yeah.
And like, oh, that is the best part of this whole shebang for me, Luke Harper.
Yeah. First of all, I like the bit where they did the 2 tag team, the Alpha and then the Wyatt promos back to back. I really liked that instead of like separating them in, you know, 2 different segments in the show. And I loved like, that it was Bray talking, you know, and then it went to Orton. And the whole time, Harper was just staring at him, like staring at the holes in the back of his head. And then when Randy, like, suddenly turned to him, I was like, oh, shit, this is lit, you know? And then he's like, you got to do your part or whatever. And it was like, oh, man, they're going somewhere good. Like, when this story first started, the Bray Randy stuff, I was like, this is kind of weird. And it has been kind of bizarre how like Randy's justification for like joining Bray was just like, if you can't beat him, join him. But I'm pretty certain he beat Bray in the match that they had. Like, am I wrong there? I don't remember.
No, Luke Harper came.
Luke Harper came back. That's right. Okay.
No
That's
mercy.
right.
There was no mercy.
There was no mercy. Okay. So he joins them. Interesting. I like the story better if it's like a vessel for turning Luke Harper face than it is if it's like a Randy Orton revenge story. Because
me too.
Like, because that would be a totally new wrinkle. And I love that it's Harper, like, and Bray was like, yeah, go send Kane back to hell. Like, he was agreeing with Orton's side of things. And then at the close of the tag team match, when they were all in the ring, and Bray was in the middle, and Harper and Orton were in the opposite corners, and Orton was doing his signature pose, and Harper was just staring at him, just staring at the back of him. And I was just like, that's just a great shot that they constructed there. You know, very deliberately, obviously, Bray in the middle, and then the angel and the devil, or what devil and the devil, or whatever they are, you know, on competing sides. So like that there were a bunch of like small things like that don't necessarily stand out as like, oh my God, that was awesome, but just like really help in building the coherency of the show and the narratives on the show.
Yeah.
Like Becky wearing plain, like a bright white t-shirt to like emphasize purity, you know? And then she drops like she calls Alexa a bitch wearing the bright white shirt. I was just like, that's a really clever, like there's thought put into that. And that's really great to see.
So anything else about this go home show before we make our predictions?
I think they need to give Alpha more talking time because I liked their promo. And they have a really goofy charm. They kind of came off, I won't say heelish to me, but like more like their earlier promos in NXT when like Full Sail was basically already cheering them, but they were still like presented as cocky tweener guys. And I kind of felt like it was there was more of that than like just the straight up like all American guys. So that was an interesting wrinkle, I thought. But we'll see where that, you know, where they go going forward. I still think they're going to be the Mania match, but I mean, I guess we'll find out.
All right, let's get to TLC this Sunday. We're starting with the presumed main event because in this day and age, who knows what the hell's going on last at a WWE show?
Yeah.
Okay. So, AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose in the TLC match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I
can already. Oh, okay. I thought the way you said I thought you were about to say Dean. I was like, oh.
Oh, no, God. No.
I was like, you're about to put out a wrong take here, Tonya.
No. And I'm not going to verify my sources because this place, I've heard rumors from this place, and they usually come out to be true. I don't say anything. I'm going to say this one thing. Well, you know, Brock's busy now because we all thought it was going to be Brock Shane.
Yeah.
Well, there have been whispers apparently that they could be looking at Shane versus Dean Ambrose at WrestleMania. How we get there, I don't know, but I definitely know it's not going to be for the title. AJ Styles is going to be in the title match. Probably going to be in the title match. Probably. Don't know who he's going to be facing. But he's going to be in the title match. So, AJ Styles is going to win the TLC match, and then he's going to beat the hell out of James. Like, James Ellsworth is supposed to have a title shot after this.
Yeah, he's going to get wrecked.
Hopefully so.
Like, even more wrecked than he was last night. That Styles clash, man, that was vicious.
I was scared for him.
I was like, the whole time I saw him setting up, and I saw Ellsworth like deliberately being super straight with his head. I was like, okay, he's not going to tuck his head. So I was like, thank God, you know. And I think they definitely like waited like an extra second to be like, all right, are we all on the same page here? You know.
That's another gripe I have against the jobber. I like jobbers who are like, well, you know, I'm the girl who's like technically like sound. Like one of the reasons Roman Reigns is my favorite wrestler, when he was green as hell, I was like, he is not, like his matches were simple as fuck, but he didn't botch anything. So like, if you're taking the champion's finish, the Styles clash, and like the first one you almost kill yourself, the second one you like everyone can tell you're obviously trying not to kill yourself this time. Your job is supposed to be good at stuff. You're supposed to be good at that shit. So that's another great.
Like if you're a utility player, like jobber like that, that's the sort of stuff you should have. AJ
Styles was not supposed to be trying to save his life. He was supposed to be making AJ Styles look like he just killed him with that move.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it that way. That's a good point, though. That's a good point. I also have.
That's why the marks should be in the audience and not backstage.
Oh,
but who do you have for this match?
I mean, AJ's winning. I don't think there's any doubt. And Ellsworth will probably play into the finish somehow. But then again, he kind of murdered him on last night, so he might not.
That's what I'm saying. He
show up.
He shouldn't. No, he shouldn't.
We'll
show up for at least a week.
For a week, yeah. That's the sort of thing you should be. Yeah, you're not John Cena. You're not like doing a stretcher job and then coming back 5 days later.
The next appearance.
Yeah.
This colossal ass beating you got. Like I might be done if he shows up.
Oh wow, I think that's too aggressive of a take.
The reason, no. Not for me. Okay. See, this is supposed to be about D. Ambrose and AJ Styles.
I think it is. I think it is about them.
You have to say about this.
I thought.
Wait, what? I want to talk about Ambrose.
All right. What match are we talking about now?
The presumed main event, the TLC match.
Oh yeah, Styles is winning. Yep.
Okay. So we go to the women's match. It's the tables match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Alexa Bliss versus Becky Lynch. I think because of what was done with Charlotte, I think they are actually going to try to do that with a face on SmackDown, at least until WrestleMania. Like, I think Becky's going to get a long run. So yeah. I think Becky's going to win.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, Alexa has really shown herself to be, a player going forward, but she's not championship. Becky's right. She's not championship material yet.
Not yet.
Sound bites on Talking Smack don't make you a champion.
Oh, she's a honey badger. You better watch the fuck out, Alexa. Like, straight fire sounds corny until you see that side of her. Then you be like, like, because I think Becky's so good at playing that little corny sweet role that people kind of take Becky for granted. But we all know she got that side, and she never fails to deliver that. Even in the feud with Natalya, when nobody gave a fuck. When it was time for her to get, like, aggressive and, like, beat the shit out of Natty, she did it. She always delivers in that. So I wasn't ever worried. What I want to see come out of this, I want this to be done for Alexa for the moment with the championship.
Yeah.
And have Carmella beat Nikki and challenge. And then come and find out, for whatever dumbass reason, they can explain, this is SmackDown, that Alexa was the one who attacked Nikki Bella. And have those, because I would die if those two feuding each other.
Oh man.
That's my Mania. That, like, Mania or leading up to Mania.
That's something that I have not seen, like, anyone actually suggest. It's been like Natty is the obvious choice, and then there's the Becky heel turn theory, which is kind of ridiculous in all honesty, but I enjoy it because I love Becky as a heel. But yeah, Alexa, I like that. I bet they could justify it totally. I bet they could totally do it.
Yeah,
so,
I'm sure they could.
Yeah, that could be really good. That could be really good. Yeah, I also do you definitely have Carmella going over then?
Yes, I do.
I do too.
Nikki won the first time.
Yeah, Nikki won clean the first time, and she stood tall last night. She got her ass beat,
and she doesn't need to win.
She doesn't need it. Yep.
She doesn't need it.
Carmella needs a
Bella at this point. She really doesn't.
Yeah. Carmella needs a step.
I mean, right. So, the tag team championship match, Beauty and the Man Beast are about to lose their titles to the Wyatt family. I'll be shocked if they win. Now, if they win, I'm gonna be like, well, maybe they want to draw out and have an actual feud with them. But I don't know, because the way Rhino got in AJ's face, I would not be fundamentally opposed to Rhino getting like a one-off 1 month Like,
yeah, that could be a hot program actually.
With AJ, yeah, because AJ is he's fine. He can work with anybody.
He's really good. He's really good.
And Rhino's like just the type of like he's just good enough to give you, a quality match. But I don't know, because the Undertaker might come back. And have they even said like how involved he's going to be?
I don't think so.
Because I think I'm seriously thinking maybe Taker either is for Cena or AJ. Or maybe they do a triple threat.
I literally had that thought like 10 minutes ago. I was like, it might be a triple threat. It might be a triple threat.
Because then there's no streak and, Undertaker, you don't have to worry about, Undertaker wrestling. It's more people involved, so there's more of a story. It doesn't always have to be about the myth of the Undertaker at WrestleMania. But he's tired of that shit, apparently. Finally.
Yeah. And it would be seriously. It would be like a very SmackDown specific story because Taker's thing when he came back was like, so I'm a blue guy, I'm SmackDown through and through. So like he could like have that coming at him. Cena as the ex-face who ran the place, and who first got big on SmackDown. And then AJ he was the current world champ and the current face who runs the place. So I think you could do a lot of fun stuff there with SmackDown history. I think that could be
it to happen.
Right now we've worked ourselves into this shoot for sure. There's no doubt about it. I want this triple threat.
Okay. Miz and Dolph Ziggler in the ladder match, and if Dolph Ziggler wins,
that might make.
I'm gonna think I'm watching Raw. If Dolph Ziggler wins, I'm gonna be like, who snuck Raw in here?
Yeah, seriously.
No. The Miz has to win and move on, and we can just stop this once and for all.
Yeah, this feud has been really good, and
it's time to end it.
Probably the wrestling feud of the year. Although I've got a hot take coming on that over the weekend. So, but yeah, it's and it has kind of fizzled out in the last couple of weeks, and I think the showrunners know that because they've not really highlighted it all that much. So yeah, I think the Miz is going to retain, and I don't really know who's going to be next for him, but we could see. It's going to be great because the Miz is great.
Yeah. Baron Corbin versus Kalisto. I honestly think they might mess around and give it to Kalisto. They're always kind of sort of threatening to push him.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised. I think it's going to be like unexpected, but it's going to be a good match.
I think it'll be like a classic 3.25 like star surprisingly good match that Baron Corbin is kind of, and even Kalisto, like when he was having those matches with Ryback, everyone was like, these matches are way better than I expected. And Corbin is kind of and Corbin's kind of doing that right now too. So I think they could have a lot of fun playing off each other. I think that could be a really good match. But I'm gonna, since we've agreed on literally every other match, I'm gonna pick Corbin because I think they have big plans for him. But I would totally get the idea of putting the face over and then just Corbin like losing his shit even more than he has. And just going like totally ballistic, like just killing anybody because of it, his frustration. So I could see that, but I think Corbin's going to win. Who stood tall?
Probably.
I don't even remember. Both the heels stood tall in those.
Oh, Kalisto stood tall the week before.
But last night he got hit by a chair.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And Maurice pushed the ladder into Ziggler, which was wonderful. That was great.
It is. That was funny. I laughed so hard at that.
You know what I laughed so hard at was on Talking Smack. I'm going to go to Talking Smack now. When the show opened, and it's just the Miz just grinning for like 3 seconds straight. I literally had to pause it because I just started dying. I was like, that is so good. That was there are a few things that have made me laugh harder in wrestling than that moment did.
Harder than that.
Huh.
When he was going off and he was saying that Renee Young has a whole bunch of notes. He only has one note. You are awesome.
Yeah, that popped me big too. And then he showed it to the camera.
I was like, you know what? We can shut it down. It's over with.
Right.
It'll never get better than this right here. Oh my God. The wrestling is so good.
The wrestling is so good.
Which I'm going to be probably thought of kind of like, what is she? It was alright, but I thought Raw was pretty great. The things that I liked, I thought were great. I wanted to talk about this because I watched this segment several times, and the writing probably is going to let me down, but the 3 performers didn't. Okay, I understand what Roman Reigns' current character is. Roman Reigns is a troll, but he only trolls heels. So when Lana and Rusev were having their celebration, Roman came out and trolled them, but he wasn't just trolling them just because let's make fun of Lana because she's a slut. He used Rusev's insecurities about Lana and to get the United States Championship. He trolled the fuck out of Rusev, pissed him off. Rusev said, no, I'm not going to accept your challenge. He trolled him even more. And what happened? He got a title shot. He won. He beat him decisively in Hell in a Cell. So what was last week? So the segment that you like, it now has a point because it bleeds over to the segment this Monday. People are like, oh, another highlight reel. Well, pay attention to both of them, and maybe you'll see that there's an actual story being told here. So, the last week, Chris Jericho and KO, they were acting like they were mad at each other. And whose fault was it? Roman Reigns. Ha, so funny. So, they're in the ring, and they're doing their thing. And who comes out? Troll Roman Reigns. And he says to Kevin Owens, because he's been hearing Daniel Bryan call KO a fake champion. It said it was a joke and all this. He's been hearing that. They're making fun. They're having their little fun and stuff. So he's going to go and poke the bear and fuck with Kevin Owens because he knows Kevin Owens is just doing this shit to keep the title. And, like, the way he manipulated Kevin Owens to get mad at Chris Jericho was so funny to me. He made Kevin Owens admit, he was like, I don't need Chris Jericho. He was like, oh, I think you do. Because you can't win by yourself. And he said, oh, you're going to lose the title last week. And the week before, and you know, he just kept pissing them off. And then Jericho, who I think wasn't just being an asshole. He was actually trying to be a friend because Troll Roman is trolling his friend. And he doesn't like it. So he's going to put him on the list. Something he really cares about. But what did KO do? KO's getting so sick and tired of being overshadowed by this motherfucking Bliss. And then here comes this greasy-haired bastard who calls himself the guy who's a lesser champion, calling him a joke. And Chris Jericho's right here making jokes. So he told him to shut up. I don't need you. Let me handle this. Now, you watch that segment. After KO tells Jericho to shut up, Jericho is no longer engaged in the conversation they're having. He is so fucking hurt. The rest of the promo, he stands there looking like somebody just said, fuck you, I never want to see you. Like, he looks so hurt. And I was like, damn. The degree that they played that, it was so funny to me. Like, they're actually trying to tell a story out of all that bullshit with the list and stuff. Like, it blew my mind. Then the very next segment, it's because he didn't got because Roman came and trolled once again and got himself another opportunity at another title. So KO's pissed off, and Jericho ain't trying to hear that. He like, you told me to shut up. You said you don't need me. I'm like, that wasn't a part of the plan. That wasn't what they was on the they was on the highlight reel to once again make fun of Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. You know what I'm saying? And they were well on their way to doing that. And then Troll Roman came in. And now, even though, like KO said, that's still my best friend, he's pissed off. Chris Jericho is pissed off. And, like, seriously, if those two actually had a few, I wouldn't care if the Universal title is all the way. The stuff that's going on between KO and Jericho right now is the most interesting thing on Raw. It seriously is. Because they both look like they were actually friends. Like, nobody's using each other. And, like, for the story to have been so shitty to come to that, I was like, if they had told that so much better, then, like, everybody would be talking about that instead of, like, the moment booking that they did on the show, which I'm still not a fan of.
Yeah, that was you opened my eyes a little bit there. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm telling you, no, like, I don't know who wrote these last 2 weeks. I don't know what the hell was going on, but I sat back and watched it because, like, okay, like, people don't like Roman, but he don't have a character. Yes, he does. His character comes and trolls the shit out of the heel and makes them upset, and he gets whatever they want. And out of this trolling, because he didn't do shit to Russo and Lana, they still tight. But out of this one, like, has come this story that has some kind of layers that, like, Lord, if they tap into it, it could be those two at a WrestleMania match that could possibly steal the show. Because KO can do his indie stuff. And, you know, Jericho, they're real life friends. Jericho's going to be on his A game next day. He is. I don't think he's as bad in the ring as everybody says. He fucks up sometimes. He's probably drunk. You know he be tipping that.
Oh, man.
Sometimes them eyes be red. As a
yeah. Yeah.
You never. I know a lot of people are gonna listen. Like, I never thought about it the way. Yep.
Wait, people haven't thought about it that way? I thought that was the general assumption that he'd been hitting the sauce a little bit.
No, I don't think people think he'd be drunk during his promos.
not necessarily drunk, but like a little bit loosened up.
Yeah. A little loose. He got a little loose. Yeah.
Yeah, is what I've been seeing. I really like the point you made about the comparison between last week's segment and this week's segment, because I hadn't made that connection at all, because I don't spend time thinking about the main event scene on Raw, because it's been so poisoned. Yeah.
With bullshit.
And I've seen some comments in the like the SmackDown recap thread and the Raw recap thread, where it was like SmackDown gets away with stuff that Raw wouldn't. And while I don't necessarily agree with that opinion, if it is in any way true, it's because SmackDown has earned the trust and Raw hasn't.
Yep. That's true.
Like, that's kind of what it comes down to. Mm-hmm. You know, SmackDown has the people who watch it are like, I'm going to see what's happening. Mm-hmm. And if I don't get it, it's probably because they're going somewhere that I'm just not seeing right now.
Here's my thought. The majority of the people what was talked about from Raw the most? The women's stuff. Ad nauseam. People barely mentioned this segment that I just spent like 5 minutes explaining. Because even if they watched it, what they saw was, oh, they're trying to turn Roman into John Cena, which they totally, like, he was totally troll dude bro Roman. And by the way, if he was in the mid card, people would be like, hey, he's learning how to talk. But because he's not,
yeah,
they're like, he was terrible. No, he wasn't. He was actually great Monday. Blah, 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 blah. Slow down. Like, oh my God, when KO messed up and Roman trolled him, I was like, yes. I'm sorry. I am a little petty about that, but
no, I will say when the segment was going on, I was listening to Roman. I wasn't like engaged with it at all, but I was like listening to him. I was like, this is pretty well done. You know, like he's got his thing going on right now, and it's working. You know.
It's also probably because of like he likes working with like KO and Jericho. Like they're probably like hanging out in the back after the show. You know what I'm saying? If he's working with somebody like Triple H, which is like a authority figure to him, the chemistry is really not gonna be there. To hang out with somebody like AJ Styles, who comes backstage and says he's Samoan, and is like, "What up, Oos?" What would you wonder why he? Would work better with those guys. So
it
pisses me off though. I get really passionate because he's been so poisoned and he has improved so much. And then every time he has a microphone in his hand, it's a bad promo, and that is a fucking lie.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
Well, we've seen the opposite of that with another performer on Raw, whose promos are automatically good, but I don't have any complaints right now. The thing about we're just gonna go into it. I think we're just gonna go into it. Well, let's say a couple of words about the bar fight. I love the bar fight, and the fact that it was like just a bunch of indie wrestlers was kind of like a cute inside joke. But Tessa Blanchard just giving Sheamus the eyes, I like died. The segment had me won at that point. I was just like, why is Tessa Blanchard giving Sheamus the eyes? This is hilarious. I honestly missed half of the brawl because I was just like awestruck by what
trying to figure out like
what's going on?
Where are they from?
Yeah.
I Googled so many names after that bar fight. You have no idea.
Right? Yeah, seriously. Yeah, so that was great. I really liked that.
Sean and Gino said, like, there's a parallel universe. So, like, if you go to the grocery store, on the other side, like, wrestlers are all in their grocery
the wrestling bar? Yeah. Yeah, Cesaro throwing that guy through the prop wall was hilarious. That was,
and I just wanted to let everybody know when this happened, I was on board. People were like, "Oh, this is stupid. This is how they're going to end the best of 7." I'm like, what else? They're not. Okay.
I think we both were on board.
Yeah, but Sheamus is not he's failed in the main event, and they're never going to put Cesaro there. They're never going to make Cesaro a main eventer. Ever. They're never going to do it. If they were going to do it, I think this is not a JBL situation where he's going to be in the company for 20 years and then all of a sudden he's the world champion overnight.
Yeah.
Because he started driving a limo or some shit. Can't you tell how much I loved JBL?
Yeah, right? Big fan. The other oh, sorry, go ahead.
So I just wanted to say I hope they beat the New Day. I hope if this proves that they're going to work together, they're going to be on the same page. They're awesome. Their offense. God, can you imagine the shit? They're going to kill New Day.
Yeah.
They're on the same. They're going to kill New Day. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I think Cesaro is better as a tag wrestler. I know a lot of people want him to get a singles push, but when he has somebody to play off of, it's when he comes out best, I feel like. And, like, his offense is so varied and, like, really impressive that you can do some really cool tandem stuff. And Sheamus has been a really good worker for a really long time, but just no one cares about his matches. And I feel like that bar fight people were like, this is a hoot. This is a lot of fun. You know, so if they keep putting them in weird situations like that, here's the thing about that segment is, like, after it happened, it's like, why don't they do stuff like that more? Because that was awesome. That was so much fun, you know? I was kind of like watching
on location. I agree.
It was the same as like the Heath Slater stuff in the trailer with Rhino, with the crackers and Cheese Whiz and stuff, and Renee Young making, you know, like very confused faces. Like, that stuff is great. They need to do more of that.
You bring up another point. You said they need to do more of that, but I don't know. Maybe they are. Maybe somebody who said Raw felt different to them was right, because Seth Rollins. Now, I have made a promise to my tag team partner, Lloyd Bond, that I'm not going to get on Seth Rollins. And actually, I kind of liked his side. Like, it was something off about the little parking lot brawl, but it was an A for effort for me, because when is the last time people have brawled in the parking lot? You know what I'm saying? So I could appreciate that aspect, but I don't know what it was that kind of fell off. I appreciate, like, everything they tried to do, but I would have, what it would have been so much better than a pedigree on top of a limo, a curb stomp on top of the limo.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Seth Rollins is way more like Randy Orton than people thought. He was like, when did he start losing favor with folks? They took that curb stomp away. That exposed him, and he has not been able to recover ever since. I do not agree that kids are going to be curb stomping each other. And if kids are as a mother of 3, if any of my children see Seth Rollins perform that move and they curb stomp their brother or sister, it's not the responsibility of WWE or Seth Rollins. It is my responsibility to teach my children not to curb stomp each other. I would hope that they love each other enough. Oh, well, they're play wrestling. Well, you have to, like, my 4-year-old knows better than to do that. You have to sit down and talk to your kids about stuff if you're going to let them watch violent programming. So I never bought that. I think it's about the concussion stuff. You know, they're going through all those lawsuits. So they didn't want their main star doing that, but, like, people get concussions off of taking back bumps.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just let him. I don't know. He need a better move. Have you seen him at all as Tyler Black? Because I used to like. It's like a package pile driver called God's Last Gift. He's really good at doing it too. But I guess, why is that move not allowed? It doesn't seem that dangerous. It's like a back bump.
Yeah, I don't know. Didn't he use one in, like, the Shield Triple Threat, maybe? Or was it, like, against Roman at Money in the Bank? I think he used one because people were like, oh, shit, God's Last Gift. I'm almost certain, but I'm not going to go back and watch this.
When he first came back, I saw him live, and he used the what they call it, the cop killer. And he used God's Last Gift on AJ Styles. And I think he did it. Did he do it on AJ Styles before the draft?
Maybe.
I think that's the only person who was crazy enough to take it. Because I know I know at the house show there's a triple threat with Roman, Seth, and AJ, and AJ took both of those moves because he's crazy. But, like, I don't know. The pedigree's just not going to work for him.
No. Yeah.
I am so want him to get over as a face so bad. I do. I want anybody to get over as a face on the men's side. It doesn't matter. Whoever's over, push them as a face. It's so sad to watch Raw sometimes, and then the next night watch SmackDown and see the difference in how the crowd treats the performers sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with you that Raw needs, like, a male face that the crowd can get behind. And I think they're slow building one in Sami Zayn.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I
loved his promo going in on Mick.
Yes,
that was great.
He's so right. Mick Foley is like, how? Excuse me? You are the guy who became a legend from Hell in a Cell, almost killing yourself. How dare you tell anyone not to take a match? What the hell? I can't beat Braun Strowman. Yes, the hell, he's a man. Any man with two hands. Fuck that shit. Like, seriously, I can understand like that motto, fighting and wrestling. Like, who the fuck? Since when are you scared of things? That's ass backwards to me. They need to get Mick Foley off TV. I love him to death. They need to get him out of this role because I do not like him. And he is there's Macho Man, there's Roddy Piper, and then there's Mick Foley. So they need to get him off TV like yesterday. I was so excited. That was one of the few things I was excited about. But when the brand split happened, if people will go back and listen, I was like, yay, they're going to have Mick Foley. He's going to be General Manager of Raw. And what the hell have you... Oh, Jesus. He is a joke. He's a walking joke. He exists to be a joke. And if he is not being set up for the King of Kings, I don't know who is. Like, for real. He once again gonna put over Triple H. Once again, he's gonna put over. Yeah. Once again, make him look like a world beater. He can't touch him, so he'll just do it verbally. What else before we talk about the actual main event?
That's what everyone is actually waiting for us to talk about. What did anything else happen on Raw? I literally only remember those like 3 seconds. Oh yeah, New Day won.
Constantly leaning towards the heel side, but I understand. Like, I don't get mad if like the heel tries to pull the tights, or if the heel pokes you in the eye. That's fine. You're breaking the rules. I think the face is then stupid to like, I'm going to keep playing by the rules. Well, you're not going to win. You're not.
Fight fire with fire. Yeah, fight fire with fire.
Right. Once the heel starts cheating, all bets are off. You try to win the damn match.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
and like, mind so much.
And it's not like they stopped doing that ever. They've like consistently been doing that throughout their reign. Like, not all the time, but like
but here and there they will cheat.
Yeah, frequently enough, you know?
Yeah. To where you like, again? Really? Ain't that supposed to be faces now? Why are you still cheating?
It's weird to me because like, so many people are like, I'm tired of New Day, like, whatever, blah, 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 break them up or we'll take the titles off them or something. And I'm just like, I like that there's a, like, act on Raw that the crowd likes, you know, and is, like, invested in and gets into. Like, I would say that is true. And that, like, really helps pick up the show for me a little bit sometimes. So I think that, and I assume at the rate they're still putting out merch items for them that they're still selling a ton of merch. So I don't think they're breaking up anytime soon.
I don't think they should.
I don't think they should either. I think
they should ride it till the wheels fall off. Like, I think
the whole is much greater than the parts of that trio.
Like they should have did with the Shield. Yeah. What were they gonna do? They had beat everybody. Well, build somebody else up and let them beat those motherfuckers. How about that?
Yeah, seriously. Right. Beat everybody again, you know?
Beat everybody again.
If the crowd is still into it, just do it. Yeah, right?
Find some more people, make those people a trio, and then beat them up. Like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? I will never get over that. They broke them up at least 6 months, too fucking soon. They did not get to be faces.
Yeah.
But for like 2 months.
Like 2 months? 2 months or something? Yeah.
Right after WrestleMania. They were like de facto faces going into that squash. They basically had a squash match at WrestleMania, which was like, gee, kiddos, you know, we so appreciate that the very last pay-per-view that we're ever really going to sell for $60, you guys sold it because you and the Wyatts were the only reason to watch that show. But here's your reward at WrestleMania. A nothing-ass match against Kane and the New Age Outlaws. Nice ring, boys.
I literally did not know that is who they faced at that Mania.
I will never forget it. Because that was Daniel Bryan's WrestleMania. That was Daniel Bryan and the streak ending. That was all that pay-per-view was. And people it was the best one ever. And I beg to differ. Because the Shield had a squash match and the women were just pretty much beaten and assaulted, all squashed into one little match and thrown in the worst possible spot after the streak is broken.
Well, I think the reason people loved that match,
I know why.
The reason loved this show so much was because a big baby face that they had gotten behind finally went over big and got a big win. So that transitions into the main event of Monday Night Raw, which it was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
That match was everything I wanted it to be. It was.
They weren't working no rest holds.
Why, Lord, this is what I love. They are outworking the men. And it's a beautiful thing to see. It was great. I had no complaints about anything that happened in that match. My complaints, and I do have some, it's not necessarily that booking Sasha to win here. Because if this is going to be the blow off, that's fine. Have her win here. But what I would have preferred is that this would have been a title defense instead of her becoming a 3-time Raw Women's Champion. Allow me to explain. I think Sasha should have beaten Charlotte in her hometown and Sasha's hometown. Because Charlotte already has everything. Sasha's been in history-making matches, but she usually loses. I believe it's the first history-making match Honey Child won. Seriously. It might be. My whole 3-time women's champion in 4 months is just it devalues it nothing to when people were John Cena beating Ric Flair. Look at the time span that Ric Flair got to 16. It was a long ass time before he got to 16. Cena not so much. 10 years is really not a long time. And then I look at some of the greats. Macho Man Randy Savage are never greats. Never will be anywhere near double digits world champion. Triple H is a fucking 15-time world champion. And I don't care how much you love him. That is a fucking joke that he's a 15-time world champion and Bret Hart is a 5-time world champion. And that has always been my problem with quick title changes. It used to be when you were the champion, it was because you were a fucking draw and they kept you the champion, or you and these people were going back and forth because they were a draw. Now, people like to call these people draws. Losing 1 million, they're not really bringing too many more people in. All is happening is these same couple of 3 million people are getting shuffled between Raw and SmackDown. So they're keeping people that haven't left yet. But they still have not gotten close to the 4 million when Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30. He would calling any of these people draws, really. It's just, I don't think they're ever going to get one because they have the wrong people to champions for too long and the right people champion for not enough time. It started with Daniel Bryan. When he won at SummerSlam, that should have been the beginning of his run. But they kept snatching the title away from him. So you can say he's a 3, like Jericho. They call him a 6-time world champion. They love to call him that, but if you went and dissect his world championship runs, you would see most of them are bullshit. So what does it really mean when you say Sasha Banks is a 3-time world champion? It really doesn't mean that much. That's my problem with it. I don't have a problem with anything the women are doing personally. They've been wonderful. It's just all the other bullshit with this company.
While I agree with that in some ways, I also disagree with that in some ways. I think they shouldn't have taken the title off Sasha in the first place when they didn't need to. Then they shouldn't have had Charlotte win at SummerSlam. They shouldn't have had Charlotte win at Hell in a Cell. But finally,
if she don't win at SummerSlam, you know.
Well, yeah. But finally, they made the right call here, and a legitimately surprising call, because I think they had been working the rumor mill pretty well, putting out lots of hints of like a Bayley Charlotte feud and like moving Sasha out of the title feud, and people didn't really get that it was just going to be Bayley Charlotte not for the title. But the word you used that I take issue with is devalued, because I think it's not accurate to say that the Raw Women's Championship has been devalued in any way by trading the belt back and forth. In fact, I think while that hasn't necessarily helped, it hasn't necessarily hurt either, because the fact is that championship is the second hottest championship in the company. I don't think that's really close after the Intercontinental Championship has fallen back a little bit. So I understand the frequent switching, and God knows I've made so many complaints about the booking over the last, 15 months. So the key here is whether WWE can just let things lie the way they should. They don't. You had Ric Flair raise her arm in Charlotte. You had commentary all night long saying, like, this is the close, this is the final. Don't do it so that, like, you were only doing that just to get people to think that Charlotte was going to win, and then it would be like a surprise that Sasha won. Just end it. Just end it. Just have Nia Jax come out next week and beat up Sasha and then do a little feud there. That'll be fun. Babyface Sasha bumping like crazy. That'll be great. Sasha Banks sells death like nobody else. It's wonderful to see. But, yeah, that's the key. Whether they can just end things the way they should end. And Raw has not proven that. Like, creative team in Raw has not proven that they can do that yet. So this is the big test. Like, this is the big test that everyone is waiting for. If they announce that they're doing the rematch at Roadblock, it's gonna just all the good feelings that we have right now are gonna dissipate immediately.
I'm sorry. I'm happy for Sasha a little bit, but I didn't have good feelings about it. Cause I'm tired of this round robin. I really am. And like, seriously, if Charlotte wins that belt anytime soon again, I'm gonna be sitting here just like, why? What the fuck? Seriously. Like, seriously. Yeah. Like, seriously.
Yeah, it's got
like, well, there's no time limit. There's at a certain point, you have to move on.
Yeah.
It has, like, this is not the territory years when you could stretch a feud out for 4 years and they only have 3 matches. Like, like, they have been feuding since the Royal Rumble of this year. The Royal Rumble event, when Sasha made her main roster debut. Oh, Lord. I have no faith in this.
Yeah,
I have no faith in it.
That's the key. That's the question. Like, whether they can just realized that they got their kind of ass backward, which I'll go into on this weekend. That's going to be a deep dive that I'm not really looking all that thrilled for. But they just need to understand that when you have something good, you just need to let it be good instead of trying to like make it be better when really all that's going to do is make it be less good.
That's kind of my point. I'm not talking about
for sure.
Like,
we are totally in agreement on that.
By this time next year, Sasha Banks going to be a 5-time Raw Women's Champion. Is that really prestigious then? Like, how many more times can you take the belt off of her and put it on her? It's been 4 months. I was this indignant when it happened to Roman Reigns. I was like, he's a 3-time world champion in 4 fucking months. This is the stupidest thing there's no reason either of these people in my picture should be fucking 3-time champions within a year. I am sorry. That's the reason why. Okay, this is another thing. They hold on to that 16 so dearly because I thought about this a lot. John Cena, like, there could have been way more ratings when Roman Reigns fucking tanked. They could have pushed the John Cena button and kept a lot of people on board until he figured out what the fuck he was doing, like he has now. The reason why they haven't is because they're holding on. There were plenty of times where John Cena was in a feud with somebody, and they were just switching the title back and forth. And now look, you're scared to put the title on an end because now it has to be special. And your business suffered, and you lost viewers. Because seriously, if they had to just, after all that shit, if they had to just say, okay, let's just push the John Cena button, it would have been cool. He would have been stepped in there, put his cape on, and it wouldn't be as bad as it is now. That's the problem when you keep doing that. You reach, at a certain point, it's like their career may matter, but the number, how many times they're champion, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many world titles John Cena has. He's not better than Ric Flair. So I just think they need to be more careful with taking the title off of Sasha and putting it on her. Or it might become a joke.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree with you on that point. It needs to end.
This is the third
It needs to be over. What I think is interesting is the general assumption lately has been that Sasha is going to turn heel in the relatively near future. And I was making the point in the Daily today, I don't know if you saw, that that's like the dumbest idea possible.
Yeah, I saw that. I agree. Because
you have a babyface who's like getting like red hot reactions during her matches. There's something about, this is gonna come out so Marky Mark, but there's something about "This is awesome" chants in Sasha Banks matches that feel more passionate than they do in other people's matches. There's just something about the way she works that grabs people and you just can't look away. You know, she is really,
that's true.
really, really, really damn good at this. And it is so nice to see after all the shit that people have been talking about her online. I have just been, you know, I've been at my wits' end. I've been at my wits' end with folk, and it's
she's so overrated.
I was
like, look how motherfucker do you. That's exactly how I feel.
Yeah, seriously.
I just didn't ever say nothing. I was like, look at this here.
Yeah. It's so, I've been really thrilled to see her continue to have the big match Sasha game. The thing that I always think about with this feud is like, if the build had been like 3.5 stars instead of like 1 star, those would have been 5-star matches.
Yeah.
Like the match quality, the visceral feel of it, and like the emotion is just insane. But it's all in the match. All of the storytelling is done in the matches. Whereas if you had built it to a place where the crowd was already hyped as shit, like even more, then those matches would have been seen as even better than they are. So I think that they're even still being undersold, like the whole series of matches. But yeah,
but you know what? WWE.
Yep.
They got their. You know how they do that little video. They love their video packages.
They love their video packages.
That feud looks like the shit in video packages.
Right? Exactly. Exactly. That feud looks so good in video packages. Oh my god. Somebody in the thread just said, guarantee both girls are going to hold the title at least 2 or 3 more times before they hang it up. Child, 2 or 3 more times. Come on.
Yeah, about 10 more times.
Right? Come on.
Sasha, I don't know why people think Sasha Banks going to retire early. Wherever she at, DDP, because he's still going to be alive at 95 years old. He's going to find Sasha, and she's going to get on DDP yoga, and she's going to be buffing around like AJ Styles. AJ Styles is tiny. Rey Mysterio, I never, and this is about sex. Rey Mysterio and Sasha Banks damn near the same size. Sasha might be a little bit taller than him. I'm not completely sure. But people are so worried. Sasha don't break herself. She's a grown woman. If she's going to be careful. Rey Mysterio little ass been wrestling for 20 years now. Yeah. Stop worrying about Sasha. So that gets on my nerves.
Yeah, I know. I totally agree with you. And there's definitely a gender thing in those comments. Like, there's no doubt about it. I think what people don't quite understand maybe just yet is that Mercedes is going to wrestle. She's going to find some damn way to wrestle no matter what's going on. And I don't understand why people haven't. I really think her like shoot story is so cool. I think it's so cool, and I think her passion is so awesome. And I'm just gonna mark out right now.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's also what I had. Like, I saw people. Like, there were people like downplaying the match on Monday, which I saw on Twitter, and I was like, that's strange. Like, if you can't like that match and like the emotion in it, then like if you're like and here's what I'll say about what you're saying about the booking, and this is a problem I always have too. If we get to the point that we're thinking about the booking so much that we can't enjoy what the fuck happened on Monday night, then we've reached a problem. Now, I don't think either of us is there, but I'm saying like sometimes it can border that for me, you know? Like, so it's a very delicate balancing act that you have to play with yourself as being like you got to be a smart or whatever that is and a mark at the same time, and you can't.
I agree with that. It is
I think people. And I'm really talking to myself here, but I think people get caught up in stuff sometimes and don't appreciate what they're seeing. So I think we all need to do a little bit better job of that.
Yeah, I will agree. Well, that's why sometimes, especially you get in the internet wrestling community, I know that is the dirty phrase, but that's what we are. And I think sometimes we can whip ourselves into a frenzy, and we are all guilty of it. Get a thought going and go to town on that mofo. We will whip ourselves up and work ourselves into a shoot in a minute about something. We will.
We literally did earlier in this podcast about the Styles Cena Taker triple threat.
Right. So what I've been trying to do, that's why I can get more into with certain things on Raw, is that I'm trying to step back and see, like, even though, like, that system, the way the show's being booked now, it's broken. It is. But I can see that there are so many, especially the performers themselves, that are working so hard to work within the limits that they have to get this shit over. They're working so fucking hard. So much credit. Like I've been down on KO. I loved him. Except for the headlocks. He got to stop that.
Mm-hmm.
Stop. He need to do another. But other than that, I love his performance. I like everything. I'm kind of actually looking forward to that. Also because it's going to be in Pittsburgh and they're going to murder Roman.
Oh, for sure.
It's going to be gory, but I just hope like they have a kick-ass match. It's always my hope that the performers can, whatever's going on, because Raw, people get reactions based more, it disproportionately so, especially for Roman. Their reactions aren't really for what's going on out there. It's for what's perceived to be going on backstage. And that's not happening on SmackDown. The reactions are for what they're actually doing and performing out there. It is so weird to watch it. It is so weird to watch it.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Like, you're booing the performer, but in reality, you're booing the booking, and it's you know, and we can't really blame the fans for that. You can't even really blame the fans.
You're not even looking at. You're not even. It's a lot of people, and I'm gonna get heat for this. A lot of people still booing Roman Reigns for winning the Royal Rumble in 2015 instead of Daniel Bryan. A lot of people still booing him because of that. That's the booking. They're still booing him for a booking decision that was made almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
They are not booing his current character. His current character sucks. If you ask them what is his current character, they will tell you that he doesn't have one. When I just sat here and explained and broke it down exactly what his current character, and it's been pretty consistent, is right now. When you have a narrative, it's hard to break narratives among smarts.
Yes.
It's hard.
It's hard to break narratives among smarts. And I mean, I'll say that it's hard to build trust, but at the same time, we've kind of seen that it's also not that hard to build trust. It's a little bit different situation on Tuesday nights because we know the head writer was the head writer during NXT's glory days. And that plays into, you know, how we feel, how much trust we put in the product. But Raw is
it's
just
not fair.
Raw
but it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's the scenario that exists, and like blaming the fans for that, I think, is really counterproductive.
It is.
The company has created the situation that you know, they've done everything to lead to this situation. You know, that's on them. Like, their job is to work us, you know, and the way they've worked us is into not liking the company, or like at least the flagship show, you know. So they need to do things to bring back trust among the fan base for people on Raw especially, and there are ways to do it. And so far they have.
There's one big thing they can do, and they're not going to do it.
What?
One thing, Raw will be, people will be.
Turn Roman heel. Roman heel.
That's the thing. Like, that's not the solution. Fuck that. Yes, it is. He is so fucking ready.
Yeah.
He is so ready.
That would be a absolutely big solution. Like, you do a double turn with like a Jericho KO.
Yep.
Like, they should be faces. They're basically playing faces. They're playing like smart ass faces. And Roman would be a great heel. Like that. Yeah. Like, if you get the character alignments right and you have them doing interesting stuff, sometimes bad stories, you can get over that, you know? Like, if you have Roman being this badass heel and, like, getting people really worked up and you really want to get somebody over to, like, beat this guy, you know, to overcome this monster, you know, you can do a lot with that. And they just don't take the opportunities that are sitting right there for them. And it's like, if you give the fans something, if you just give, you know, you don't have to give them everything all the time, but just give them stuff that makes them feel good about watching your product, and don't take it away 3 weeks later, you know?
Okay, we've been running long, but I feel this the last thing I want to talk about. Lana.
Oh yeah.
Now, this angle with Enzo, where I understand it was a prank, but if you're any kind of man and you are stark reggae naked and you run across a woman, the thing you don't do is start flirting with her. Now, Lana did not like this. You want to know how I know? Because last week, after Rusev beat Enzo's ass, Rusev was still pissed off. Lana was dancing and laughing and mocking him. Like, this is not the actions of a woman who was interested in seeing this man's penis at all. This is how you act. Yeah. You acted an ass, and you disrespected me, and my husband whooped your ass. That's what you deserve. I don't get how this is supposed to, like, make me boo Rusev and Lana and cheer in. Like, Enzo's one of my favorite wrestlers. I cannot stand this shit. This is ridiculous. They need to nip this in the bud and end it. It's not about sexism, feminism. This is straight up sexual harassment. What job could you be and you're around your naked coworker and you're around your naked coworker. He starts flirting with you, and then after this incident happens, he constantly insinuates that you liked what you saw and you want to have sex with him. Him a good guy. How is this funny? I don't care how charismatic Enzo is. Like, he ain't hypnotized me. This is trash. This is garbage. It needs to stop it. Like, whatever Lana did, like, damn, she ain't paid for it yet. It's ridiculous. It's gotten to the point. They are one step from full on, like, sexually harassing her for shoot on camera.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing about her saying her husband, and he is the only man that can have me. I'm like, no, why do you make her say that? Stop. No, it's ridiculous. It is. She should not. She has way more to offer. Like, I don't care if she ruined the angle for Summer. Like, if they were that invested in Summer, they would have given her something real or something substantial like she had in NXT, instead of making her basically the ditzy, crazy catty girlfriend. Like, she played the role well, but that's all they gave her on the main roster, and it was all they were offering her in that role, and she played it. But she's like, Summer Rae could seriously be somebody's valet and get somebody who cannot talk over. Yeah. And they put her in the ring, which she's not great in the ring. Why you gotta, like, everybody shouldn't have to wrestle to work for you an entertainment company. You don't have to, everybody gotta be taking bumps. Now she on the shelf injured and you can't use her at all. You need talkers. Like, it's just silly how, like, okay, you don't like what Lana did, but that does not justify what this company has done. Suspend her, fire her. Don't embarrass her in every angle she has.
Yeah.
It's enough. It's enough of that. I'm so tired of it.
It's really off-putting to have that segment and the main event on the same show.
Right.
It's like, you can't, like, and I even said it in my review that, like, the last two nights have been super progressive, And like that, while that is true, there's also been this Enzo Lana stuff, which has been like straight out of like 1998 or something, you know. Not necessarily that bad because it would have been like in bra and panties or whatever was going on back then.
Actually flirted back in 1998.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the only thing they didn't have her flirt back.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's very strange for the company to be like pitching itself as like this bastion of progress while you're still doing like some really petty shit, and that's really problematic. Like it's not. I saw when I brought it up in the Raw recap thread, I said it was like sexual harassment. Some dude was like, "How is that sexual harassment?" And I was like, "God damn it!"
If you as a grown ass man
Right.
do not understand how being naked, a whacker exposed to your female or male co-worker, and then not trying to cover up at all, but also flirting with them while you are fully exposed. If you don't see that as sexual harassment, it's not my fault. It is your fault. And I am not going to explain it. You are an adult. Somebody should have been told you that.
Yeah. You need to go to those workplace seminars. Like, seriously.
That's not like telling a dirty joke. This is somebody's exposed. That's like me if I go to my job tomorrow as a waitress and I am topless. I have now sexually harassed everybody that has to deal with my genitalia in their face. It's the reason why people wear clothes in public. It may not have been his fault that he was naked, but it was his fault that he did not do anything to try to cover up, and then proceeded to flirt with this woman, and then take it to the next level for 2 weeks going now, insinuate that she liked what she like. That's what happens when women get assaulted.
Yeah.
Complain, oh, but she liked it. Oh, it's okay, dude. She was totally into it. So if you don't see the problem with that, then you are a part of the problem.
It's absolutely true.
Sometimes I feel like people are so tolerant that they tolerate things that should not be tolerated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
People aren't able to think outside themselves, you know? Like,
yeah, that's true.
It's a big issue.
Well, I'm going to enjoy TLC, I know, but
oh my God, it's going to be so much. It's going to be so much of a fun show. And that sentence did not come out well at all. But it's going to be. The whole time, all I kept thinking was just say it's going to be lit. Like that's what you're trying to say. Just say that. And I was just like, no, I'm going to get this out, and it did not get out at all. Yeah, it's going to be a lit show. It's going to be great.
Yeah, WrestleMania is like. As soon as it gets cold, WWE starts thinking about it. So we got to think about it. The shows are going to start getting a little bit better. I think for both of them. And SmackDown's already A+, so, you know. I do think Raw's going to start to get better. And also because Triple H is going to come back once football is over.
I hope so desperately that literally the week after Monday Night Football ends, he shows up. I want it so bad because I will die of laughter. I will die of laughter. I'll be like, this motherfucker, what a worker. My God.
The best worker he is one of the best workers in the business.
Oh, for sure.
One of the best. Legendary. It really doesn't get any better. We're going to end this show with the all hail Triple H.
All hail.
All right, see you guys next week. Bye-bye.